All right, I'd like to call to order the May 21st special meeting of the Parks and Services, Community Services Committee. I don't even know if we have an agenda, but yes, thank you. Can I, it's kind of an agenda anyway. Let's just go ahead and move. We know what we're going to do. The purpose of this dialogue is to discuss our community grant preliminary award recommendations, make any adjustments that we feel like need to be made, and try to get to where we've got consensus on our recommendation to the council.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So just a quick, I think everybody knows where we're at. After the budget committee of last meeting of last week, they made a proposal to increase our community grant amount from the original ask of 140,000 to 175,000. They also agreed to continue consideration of the two asks that we had recommended as not really part of our purview. One, because the school, because it was an incomplete application, and then the community action team, the Elk Creek Terrace ask, we just didn't really feel like it was part of community grants outreach. And at least from the discussion that I heard, I think we had broad agreement. So I'm very hopeful that there'll be action separate from us on those two. Anyway, so where we're at is the current budget proposal is for 175,000, but that actually isn't going to be the final recommendation to the council until tomorrow. They're meeting at the 22nd, and the council, I think, is going to have the opportunity to approve the budget on June 2nd. So what I'm thinking is that we need to keep both of our spreadsheets valid. I really believe the 175 is going to be the number, but just in case something were to change, and it could change tomorrow, we'll be prepared. Does that sound okay? Reasonable to everybody?
Sounds good.
All right. Are there any questions, suggestions before I move on? And what I was going to do is just let us take a quick look at each of the two spreadsheets. Do they have the spreadsheets? So the people who are not.
I had them prepared here, but I
Okay.
didn't ever share.
Okay. Do you have the ability to just put them up on the screen? And then that might be the quickest way to let everybody see them at the same time.
Do I have to have it up first?
Yeah, in fact, I have that window open.
And let's start with the 175 since we think that's the most likely.
And I brought it. Take me just a minute, you guys.
We'll get
We're
there.
good. Yeah.
You're fine.
A lot of clicking.
A lot of folders.
Yeah. Which one do you want to go over first?
Let's do the 175. I think that's the most likely one.
Get that up there, and then Go back to the Zoom and just hit share.
And
No,
should do,
That's
go
not
up to
it.
see up at the very top where it says screens and then documents. That one. I did believe it would pick it up as a screen, but it doesn't, I don't see it. Let's go back to screens, I think, because I don't see people do this. Application window. Teams, why isn't that showing up?
Go back to Word.
Maybe if you go back to your spreadsheet, there's a share option there.
I can't get out. How do you get out of here without my hand?
Well, I'd go all the way down to the bottom and click on this Excel icon. And yeah, that's not the same as so
How
I've
do I
not
get-
done it, so I can't tell you.
Just trying to get it online.
Yeah, well, probably we're gonna have to scroll down to do that.
But no. It's not showing up on the shared.
Right, I see that, and I don't know what to do with it.
Let me see if I can hit share again and then maybe it'll pop up. There it
There
is.
you go, it just needed to be. As my mother would say, you weren't holding your mouth right.
Can you guys see it?
You are screen sharing.
Mhm.
Oh, Anita can see it. You guys can see it now? Okay. Uh-oh.
Oh. It's gone.
What just happened? Can you guys see it? Okay.
Except for the little square on the top left, which I don't know what that is.
This thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's pasting over part of the spreadsheet, but probably not the part we have to have,
But you guys can see the numbers.
except for Tom.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
You with us, Tom?
Yes, yes.
All right. So, I don't know, I've done this several times, and I don't know that I know exactly the best way to go through this. What I typically try to do is, and I've done this on my copies of the spreadsheet, is look at kind of how consistent we are in a broad sense, as far as what we each allocated, and then if there's someplace that's really, really different, we kind of talk about it. That's the way I've done it in the past, but this is an open discussion for sure. So I'll tell you what, you may need to scroll down so that Anita and Betty can see the numbers for all of it. Wish we could get rid of the heading. I don't know how to do that. Some kind of a full screen thing.
You have
But
to go back to the. Share. I'd have to stop my share, right?
I guess
You mean in Excel, get rid of the top just so there's more room? I'm not
that's what
sure.
I'm thinking. And I thought maybe it was one of those little icons on the very bottom right. I'm not sure of that. Maybe the one. Okay, so
This one?
try that just real quick. Well, that cleaned that part up
Yeah, that was
anyway.
good.
So
Yeah.
that was helpful. And we just need to get rid of that.
You just have to scroll. Or you're gonna make it small enough that none of us will read it.
Yeah. Go up, I know you can barely see it, but view, pops, pull down up there. It's,
On this,
no, actually on the spreadsheet, it's just below the participant's name on the black bar. Up. There you go, page
Page
layout,
layout,
on the
yeah.
data review, view. Click on that one. And we want to see full screen.
it says 100%.
Go back to page layout real quick. Well, I meant right there where we were. That's my fault. I'm sorry. Go to custom views. Oh, we don't have a custom view. Never mind. I saw one that said that it was going to show what it looked like when it printed out, and that
Mhm.
would have gotten rid of the
bar.
bar.
I can do a print previews or something.
Oh, that's right. Maybe try that. Go to file, far left, file, down at print. And so the thing is that Zoom bar is right on top of the things that I
Right.
want to see.
I don't know if you double click on just your page, if that opens it up or not, but
Try that.
I can see this.
Ooh, Tom
Yeah,
gave-
everything but the last piece. Double click right there where you're at, Sherry. Just see if that won't just open just that up. No. All right. What about the little icon in the bottom right corner? There's two there, one selected. Now showing margins probably isn't going to help us, but you can click it and try it if you want. Oh, click on zoom to page. Oh, that's what it did.
you were back in there. Do you have like just a print preview? Like
Yeah,
your
I didn't
quick-
see a pre, it used
was
to,
there?
that's
Yeah,
it used
Loaded
to,
in,
but
yeah.
now it doesn't seem to. There's one last thing I can think of, and I'm sorry. Can you grab the top of the pictures and pull it over to the left? I can do that on mine. Does that work?
that's pretty
They
good.
can see it. We can't. We're the ones that are struggling, I think.
I can make it out.
Okay.
All right, Betty, Anita, can you see the whole screen finally
Yeah.
and read it?
Thumbs up. Yeah.
All right, so. I actually only really saw one of these that I felt like we needed to discuss, and I actually called Tom yesterday and talked to him a bit. That's the North Coast Watershed Association, where generally we all were pretty strong on, except for Tom, was 0. And Tom, I think if you're still with us, why don't you share with the group what you told me, basically, what your rationale was.
Okay. My thought process last year was to equally fund everybody. This year, because of the fact we've got such a large number of requests coming in, and a budget that's driven way up, particularly when we had 140, 175 gives us a little more leeway. But my thought process was to lean towards the humanitarian service nonprofits. Okay. I know that they all agonize with the request amounts. You ask for only what you need, and typically they fall a little bit short of that. If we take the process that I did last year, they get close to their request, but not quite. I know the city made a a change at the last minute to fund everybody with requests, but this year we don't know what's going to happen. My thought was, lean heavily on the nonprofits that I am associated with, have a little bit of skin in the game with, and that are humanitarian service type facilities. Land Coast didn't fit that bucket. They were really this year driven towards educational material. And for that reason, I said, let me take care of these other guys, and knowing at the end of the day, there are other members of the committee that feel differently. So it's going to be a weighted average. They're not going to wind up with nothing. Okay. But my thought process was to drive it towards the humanitarian services. In other words, if I was funding this out of my pocket, I'd lean towards the people that I felt needed it the most and had, could serve other people. And that's what drove my thought process. I know everybody might feel differently. I don't know, but that's what drove it.
Tom, if money was not, if we had plenty of money to fund whoever we wanted to, there wasn't a constraint, would you have considered the North Coast as well? Or is this a catch?
Absolutely.
I don't want to put words in
Absolutely.
your mouth. Okay, so
No.
zero
You know,
sends a different message than a low number.
Right.
Zero tends to send the message, it's not worthy of consideration.
Right.
And I don't, I want to make sure that if that's not the way you feel, that if when we present to the council, if that were to come, the question were to come up, then I know how to appropriately respond.
Yeah.
And I think your
And
rationale is
if
perfectly
we-
acceptable, quite
Yeah.
frankly.
Yeah,
Agreed.
if there's enough money left, absolutely fine. But they're not giving us that message, and I think they're doing it for a reason. Is that let's flush out how this committee feels about these individual nonprofits, and if we just do a percentage, we're not telling them anything. They can hit a button on a computer and it'll average it all. I think they're looking for input from us. How do y'all feel about all this? And so I was trying to, using that as a go by or a marker, I tried to respond that way.
Yeah.
And I know that they're not going to wind up with zero. Okay. But I felt that it was, my responsibility to try to come up with some kind of rationale.
Yeah, well, I
rather than
appreciate
just
that.
A blank percentage.
Yeah. Uh-oh, so what's this message?
Not responding, no.
I think we've lost everybody.
Oh, they're frozen.
Frozen.
Oh, I still hear you.
You can hear us?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your video is frozen.
Okay, the video we see is frozen, but if you can still hear us, then that's okay, I guess.
Just send the Zoom?
No, because you don't, unless you want to sit there and briefly describe what happened. I just clicked don't send
Yeah.
and get rid of that.
Oh, I didn't know what it would do.
I don't know. So Anita and Betty, can you still hear us?
Yes.
Okay, so we may have to reboot to look at the other page, but it sounds like everybody is at least.
Says Betty is the host of the meeting now. Hee hee. I don't know, Betty, maybe it's just you and me now and Nancy.
Well, I think we should, now I'm going to up my giving to that group because
Well,
that's unacceptable.
zero is a pretty,
We've already had problems with zero before. It was
yeah,
horrible.
that sends a message of complete
Yeah, that's
sort of
horrible.
disregard and
Yeah, yeah.
and I feel differently that I want to front load, education for the littles so they don't end up in Restoration House.
That's right. Absolutely.
I don't know if anybody can hear me, but we'll address that once we all get back on board, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, Tom's, got a right to his feelings and message that he wants to send, but boy, 0 is kind of a slap in the face in my mind.
Mhm. I remember when it happened a couple years ago, and I thought we had all agreed that that was not
Yeah.
okay.
It doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
especially when we got an increase in our grant amount.
Right. Right. And they're going to be working with kids in our own community, not,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's a pilot program, and it deserves, a chance to work.
Yeah. I agree.
And the presenter was just, I mean, her enthusiasm was contagious. I see her taking it, I mean, just getting the kids motivated and involved.
Yeah. And it's their own community they're learning about, right? It's
Yeah.
so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. The curriculum can be geared specific to this area,
Mhm.
which I thought
That's right.
was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
Well, any communication? Nancy, do you have any words on how we can get this meeting back on track or reconnect, if you can even hear us?
I can't talk.
Oh, hello.
No, I have no words. Believe
Well,
it or not, I have no words.
well, just about how to, I mean, do we just log off and then re-log on, or how do we get everybody
Well,
back together?
so are they rebooting, or did they just get lost altogether?
I think they just got lost because I saw that Betty is now the host, and so they're gone, and it's just the three of us now.
Well, I know that Betty's a very good host.
Yes, she is. I have no problem with that.
I don't know. You might want to call on your cell phone. You might want to call Les or Sherry and say,
Yeah,
obviously you can't see us. What are you doing? And go from there, because
yeah.
obviously
I-
there's no communication between you guys
Yeah.
on the Zoom. So maybe calling them might be the best thing to do.
Yeah, I don't have Les's number, Betty. If you can let him know and see what they want us to do.
Let's see if I
Um,
do.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I mean, I have Sherry's number, but she's got enough going on. I don't want
Yeah. I
to.
I could call him, but it's pretty early here, and I'm in my bedroom and Mike is asleep.
Oh, okay.
Can
This
you
is
give Anita his phone number, and then she can call him?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I need his number anyway, so.
okay. It's 432 599 1133.
432-599-1133. Hopefully he answers if I'm not in his contacts. If he doesn't pick up, I'll try Sherry, but she
Yeah.
probably doesn't have her phone in her meeting, I would imagine. Hey,
Or call Rusty.
yes, hello.
So I want to do something here that I've never done before, but I have high confidence in Mark's advice. I want to get this mute merged.
Oh, lost you. Okay,
All right, I'm here.
yes.
Tom, are you here?
Hello.
And you've got Betty, or is that? Are we still missing Betty?
No, I've got Betty. And
You got Betty. Okay.
I've got Betty and Nancy.
All right. So
we're wondering if we want to log off and then re-log in and start over to see if we can all get connected and as usual. Is that maybe an option?
It is. Sherry had to completely reboot this computer and it's working to get back onto it. That's what I would suggest.
Okay.
Have you, I know we didn't talk about it, and I should have checked with you earlier. Can you send them the two spreadsheets by email? Or I could forward the email you sent me. Just because we could do it on the phone if they could see the spreadsheets. I know you're busy doing
Well,
this stuff.
it'd just take a minute to log off and then re-log in and see if that reconnects us. If you don't mind, we try and do. Okay, so I'm gonna leave and then I'm going to log in again for Zoom. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.